Hey everyone, I'm Connor and welcome to my channel, The Closet. If it's your first time here on my channel, I like to talk about all things luxury. So if that's something you're into, I would love it if you could hit the subscribe button and the bell button so you get a little notification when I bring out a new video. And if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about practical ways that you can purchase luxury items at a fraction of the cost, where you can get a significant discount of purchasing brand new luxury items. I'm not talking about no freaking eBay coupon code. I'm talking about the many different platforms out there that you can purchase new luxury and the way to make the most out of getting a better price. Now, I tend to steer clear normally of these kind of videos, whether watching or filming them, because I don't want to come across as someone who's like, oh, if you don't buy a coffee for the next 12 years, you'll be able to buy a bag. Okay, you're going to be living in fucking oppression for 12 years, but cool. No, I'm talking about practical, all right? Practical. These are things that I do, and maybe you'll get something out of this video, so let's get right into it. Now, my first tip is utilizing cashback or reward apps. Now, there's a few different ones out there. I know there's like Rakuten Market, and then there's cashback rewards or something like that, but the one that I use is Shopback. And if you're unfamiliar with what these apps are, basically they are a free application that lets you shop through the app on different websites and platforms all around the world. It's not exclusive to luxury. There's all different brands on there. There's like ASOS, there's like Neiman Marcus, there's like so many different websites on there, but the luxury reselling websites like Matches and Farfetch and Net-a-Porter and 24S, they are all assigned a percentage with, once you go through the app, you log through their website and then you purchase a luxury good, you will then receive a percentage of that sale back into your Shopback balance. With that Shopback balance, you can either transfer the funds back into your PayPal account or your bank account, or you can use that to purchase gift cards through the Shopback website. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, like, what's the catch? Basically, there isn't really a catch. It's just a way that these Shopback or cashback apps, they work exclusively with these businesses and they drive customers to their website, because the bigger the percentage that you're going to get back as a reward, the more traffic they're going to get towards their website. And it might be the deal breaker between you shopping at 24S or Matches, because 24S has a higher percentage. When sales, like sale periods are coming up or end of seasons are coming up, these luxury stores, they amp up the percentage. Generally, for example, let's use Net-a-Porter as an example. They are currently on like 3.5% Shopback or cashback. So if you go through the app, log on to Net-a-Porter and purchase something, you'll get 3.5% back of what you spend into your Shopback balance. Every now and then, generally every month or every 6 weeks, that goes up to 20%, meaning you will get 20% back of what you purchase. And that sits in your Shopback balance, so you can either transfer that back into your bank account or whatever you want to do. Now, the caveats for that are, if you do purchase something, it takes a period of time for the Shopback amount to clear. Some businesses it's 30 days, some it's 60 days, and some it's 90 days. So you don't get it back instantly. It doesn't get deducted from what you're purchasing on Net-a-Porter. It just pens in a balance, and then once it clears, you get the access to the cash. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not waiting 90 days, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to buy the luxury item anyways, you're going to just get that as a reward. So why wouldn't you, right? There are generally brand exclusions on Net-a-Porter. I know Gucci is excluded, and like fine jewelry items from any kind of seller on that website is excluded, but Fendi is not excluded, Loewe is not excluded. Like there's heaps of other brands that aren't excluded. So if you want 20% off a Fendi bag that Net-a-Porter has, just go onto the Shopback app, find the stores that you like, and if you heart them, it'll notify you when they're having a high percentage back for shopping with them. I know it sounds a bit complicated and I don't know if I've explained it correctly, but in my head, that's how it works. Now, the app's free. It doesn't cost you anything to do, and it's not just luxury items that you can shop through. You can go through many different brands, and it may be only 5%, 10%, or 3%, but if you're going to be purchasing an item through a website, you may as well get something back for it, especially, you know, if you're just going to be doing it anyways. So good tip, right? Good tip. 20% off a $4,000 bag is $800. So that's $800 off luxury. Good tip. Also, what goes hand in hand with that is if you do have a credit card, there's lots of benefits that you can receive from a credit card that aren't really publicized commonly, and the credit card companies or the bank that your credit card is with generally aren't promoting these all the time. But they do have shop back percentages or cashback amounts that you get back from purchases from certain stores, especially with American Express. I know American Express frequently have their rewards program where if you purchase from Matches, you spend $600, they'll give you $200 back or $100 back. My credit card's with Visa, with the bank here, and every now and then they do like a 3% cash back on a purchase or a 5% cash back on a purchase from international websites. So it's worth keeping an eye on those things. I know there's lots of Facebook groups that like Visa rewards or American Express rewards that people are really savvy with that sort of thing, and when a reward comes up, they advertise it. And sometimes the rewards are advertised to different people, but if you're not given that reward notification in your American Express app, for example, if you call them up, they will manually give you the rewards. They just don't promote it to everyone. So when you're talking luxury, these things add up. And if you're getting $300 or $400 off a bag, you can then put that in your like kitty for your next bag. But it's definitely worth something checking out. The next tip is utilizing first-time purchase discounts or rewards programs with luxury sellers like 24S, for example. If you're unaware of that, it is the department store in Paris, Le Bon Marché, which is a subsidiary of the LVMH group. So they are the only kind of licensed place to sell Louis Vuitton outside of Louis Vuitton. They will give you 10% off your first purchase of a Louis Vuitton item that's already discounted from what it would have been when it was in production for their current season or their retail price. Mytheresa will give you 10% off your first purchase if you shop through the app. Net-a-Porter and Mr. Porter, they do the exact same thing. And every now and then, the Shopback app will let you use a coupon code on one of these websites and still get the shopback amount. So an example would be when I purchased my mini Loewe puzzle bag, bum bag. I can't remember what it's called. The blue bum bag I have. I purchased that from Mr. Porter. I got 10% off my first order, and then I got the shopback amount, which I think at the time was like 8 or 9%. So the retail for that bag was $2,500. It was a little bit cheaper on Mr. Porter, and then I got all the discounts. So I think I paid like $1,900 or $1,890 or something. So I saved a good $600 off the retail. Bargain! I don't know how many fake emails I've made to get that little 10% off my first purchase, but it works. My next tip is utilizing the beauty of the seasonal bag. And basically the fashion houses like YSL and Givenchy and Loewe, they will discount heavily their seasonal bags, whether it's a classic bag in a seasonal color or a classic bag with a seasonal print or a new bag that they've brought out as a one-off. They will heavily discount it when that season is coming to an end because they need to move that stock on. Now they do this in a number of different ways, which I'll get into in a second, but the first one is on their own website. They will discount it heavily at the end of the season. For example, Valentino, they half price their shoes on the Valentino website here in Australia when that season's coming to an end. Half price. $1,300 shoes, you know, they'll be like $600, like crazy. Loewe do it with their bags, Givenchy do it with their bags, they all do it because they need to get rid of this stock. You could have purchased that bag 4 weeks prior for full price to only come to the website and see that it is half price. So the best thing to do is know the patterns that these websites operate. If you go on Purseblog, they have threads that kind of tell you when the seasons normally come to an end and generally the period of time when they put their stuff on sale. But it's worth doing your research and it's worth knowing these trends because you will save yourself a lot of money, especially if you've been eyeing off a specific piece and then you're like, nah, I'm waiting. I'm going to hold out, because when you do get it, you're going to enjoy the bag a lot freaking more when it's half price. Let me tell you something for nothing. All right. The next is utilizing these marketplace websites. Now, you may not think of Farfetch or Matches or Cettire as a marketplace. You probably think of it as like a department store of luxury brands. But essentially, the face of the website appears that way, but they just receive all their stock from distribution centers, specifically in Italy or Spain or other parts of Europe. So how these businesses work is more so Cettire and Matches. They basically source or advertise their stock from the luxury houses and then they put it on their website. But the stock all comes from the same place. When luxury brands manufacture their stock, like Fendi and Givenchy, they will allocate amounts of bags and stuff to all the boutiques around the world, and then all the excess stock goes to distribution centers where it just sits there and waits to get more orders to the boutiques or to other platforms like Matches and Cettire. When these seasons are getting closer to their end or they're not selling well, the brands go to all of these other platforms and say, reduce the prices, take this percentage off, blah, 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 blah. And that's what they do. If you've looked on the Cettire website, you're probably wondering, first of all, is the stuff authentic? Yes, it is. And secondly, how come it's so cheap? And that is the reason why. Mainly because these businesses operate within Europe, the logistics centers and the distribution centers where the stock comes from is already there. So they're able to cut the price of seasonal items or even classic items, but they need to clear the stock really quickly, and we get to reap the rewards of that. Example would be Dale's Zuckerprint Fendi jacket that she got, I think, like $1,000 off the retail here. I've purchased many items from Cettire where I've gotten significant amounts of money back. There's heaps of examples, I just can't think of them, and I'll try put some of the prices up on the screen now so you can have a look at what I mean. But basically, luxury houses are businesses, and that when they need to clear stock, they need to clear stock. But to not damage the kind of brand equity of the website, they will use that technique of like thinning out the stock through these businesses like Matches and Cettire, so they can save face on their website but still clear the stock and obviously still make money even when it's discounted. One thing that I do want to point out with these apps like Cettire and Farfetch is that you sometimes don't receive a full set when purchasing a luxury item, and there is a lot of inconsistencies when purchasing these kinds of things. You may just get the bag that you purchased in a YSL dust bag, or you might even just get it in a generic Farfetch dust bag. So whilst you are saving a significant amount on the retail price, you're not necessarily getting the full luxury experience that you would get if you shopped in the boutique. Now, this is an individual preference, and the opportunity cost of the monetary value that you may be saving may outweigh getting all the perks or the experience of shopping in a boutique, and that's totally justified depending on the person. I know that there are certain bags or certain brands that I'm willing to sacrifice all of that for the monetary saving. And then on the flip side, there's brands that I would rather pay the full retail amount, go into the boutique, get the box, get the ribbon, get the perfume samples, get the whole experience, and that's worth it for me. So it's definitely a preference, and it definitely comes down to, I guess, the savings and the individual, but it's definitely something to mention. And if you are somebody who likes getting the full box and everything, you're better off going into the boutique and getting that whole thing. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I would love it if you have any other tips or any other thoughts on this, and pop it down in the comments. It helps other people too. There's a lot of silent viewers of mine who read all of the comments, and they get a lot of take from it as well. So if you do have another process or a thing that you do that's practical and not like annoying, please pop it down in the comments below. I know after watching this you may think, wow, that's so exhausting, but once you get into the hang of doing it, it comes really easy. Once you've got all these apps downloaded and you've put you know, certain items into favorites and they pop up when they've been reduced or whatever, it all just comes really easy. So hopefully it lands that way. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.